Hello and welcome to the second part of the seventh recording in the Azure demo series. So this is a continuation from the last recording where we started talking or demonstrating um, different aspects of the Azure storage services. So the last recording we created an Azure storage or a Azure storage account. We downloaded and installed a tool called AZ Copy, and then we used the tool to upload content to Azure Blob Storage. In this particular recording, this part two of the recording, of the seventh recording, what we'll be doing is we'll be working with Azure File Storage. And what we'll do is we'll create a new file share in Azure. And then we will create a directory within that file share. And then we'll upload content to it using PowerShell. And then in the next task, what we'll do is within the virtual machine that was created when we prepared our environment, this virtual machine here, 0601 VM1, we'll log into it and then we'll mount the Azure directory that we have or the file share that we have in Azure. We mount it as a network drive from within the virtual machine so that we'll see how that all works. So that being said, let's get to that. So the very first thing that we need to do is to ensure that we're on the lab machine, MIACL1 or whatever you've called yours that we'll be using for this. And you should still have PowerShell ISC open from the last exercise. If you don't, open PowerShell ISC again. And very first thing that we'll do is we'll sign into Azure. So put in my Azure details. After putting in my Azure details, so now I'm signed into Azure. So the next thing I'll do is I'll get Azure HRM subscription. So this will show me if I have more than one subscription or even if I have a single subscription. Now the very next command that the lab manual says that I should run, I'll run that for your benefit, but I don't need to run it because what this command does is if I have multiple subscriptions, I need to specify one of them. So whatever deployment I'll be doing, I want you to associate with this subscription. This is the command that I use to do that. Now, I only have one subscription, so this would not matter anyway because I only have one option. But I'll still run it just so in case you have more than one, you can still follow along with that. So run that command, and now I've set my context to that subscription ID. So the very first thing, or the next thing that I would do is if I go to the E drive here, on the lab files, on the lab 06 and on the starter, we have this PowerShell script called new 20533D06 file share. So we need to open that PowerShell script from within PowerShell ISC. So if I go ahead and click File, Open, and ensure that you're on the E lab files lab 06 starter, and then open that PowerShell script. And essentially what the script is meant to do is it's meant to create a new file share in Azure and then create a directory. So let me show you what it looks like before we run the script so that you can tell what the difference is afterwards. So if I go on the file service under my storage account on the file service and I click on files, you notice that it's empty. I do not have any file share and I don't have any directories within the file share. So that's what the script will do. It will create a file share, it will create a directory within the file share, and then it will upload content from elab files starter invoices. So if I go to that location, starter invoices, so there's three content or three XML document here. It's going to upload this document into the directory that is going to create within the Azure file share. So let's go ahead and complete this part. So there are a few things that we need to modify here. So first of all, this variable storage account name, we need to put our Azure storage account name here. So let's go ahead and get a storage account name. So if I go to the Azure portal, there are multiple places I can get that. I can just copy it from here. In this case, I can go to access keys and just copy storage account name from here. And then go under PowerShell and then paste here to replace. And then I have the share name that I'll be creating, we'll call it asset, or it will be called assets. And then I create a directory within the file share called invoices. And it's going to put them in this resource group 0602. So now that we have that, anything else that we need to modify? Let's see. Um, to Okay, so what we can do is I can click on this and then click on save. And if I scroll down here, just make sure that I'm not missing anything here. Okay, yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. So having modified that, I'm thinking, yeah, so it's gonna log in, it's gonna get the storage account key. So in this case, I don't need to copy the storage account key because we're gonna retrieve that keys in PowerShell itself, and then we're gonna create a new storage share. So let's just go ahead and just run the entire script. So actually that looks really fast. That's done, actually. That's done. So if I go to the Azure portal, if I go on the files again now, and if I refresh, and I can now see I have a new file share called assets. If I click on that, I have a directory within that called invoices. And if I click on that, I have my 3 documents there here uploaded, and that's all done. That's very quick using PowerShell. So that's done. So the next thing that we'll do now is now we have this file share here. So in case you want to mount it as a network drive within a it could be a physical machine, virtual, it does not matter. If you want to mount it within a machine, you can. And that's what we'll be doing in the next exercise. So let's go ahead and do the next exercise. So what we would want to do is if I go on the virtual machines in the Azure portal, this virtual machine that was created when we prepared our environment at the beginning of this lab, we're going to connect into this virtual machine. So I'll get the public IP address for the virtual machine, bring up remote desktop, and connect to it. So by the way, the username and password are in the lab document. So put the username there, and I'll put the password here also, and then click OK. It's going to prompt me. I can say don't ask me again and click yes, and then it's going to connect me to that machine. So what we're going to be doing with this machine is we want to mount a new share. So it should not take long to log us in. It's the very first machine type that I selected in Azure. Oh, okay, yep, here we go. So what I'll do is when logged into this machine, I'll go ahead and click no to this. It should bring up Server Manager shortly, I hope. And the very first thing that I'll do logged into this machine is I'll disable Internet Explorer security and non-security configuration. So the reason for that is because we're going to be browsing to the Azure portal from within this machine. So again, it's not one that you do on a production system. We're in a lab environment here. So let's click on local server in Server Manager, IEN non-security configuration, and I'll just go ahead and turn that off. So once that's done, I'll bring up Internet Explorer and I'll go to portal.azure.com. And should be prompted to sign in. Oh, missed the D. And I'll go ahead and put in my password. And I'll go ahead and say stay signed in. So after logging into the Azure portal, I'll click on storage account here. And on the storage account, in the storage account blade, I'll click on the storage account where we have Azure file share. And then after getting here, I'll click on files and this file style. And then I have my file share called asset here. I'll click on that. And within here, there's this option here that says to connect. If I click on that option, what it's going to do is it's going to tell me, hey, select the drive letter that you want to use to mount this particular file share. I'll just leave that set to Z or Z. And it's going to give me the script or the code that I can go to run to mount this. So it's going to have all that laid out for me here. So if I'm using PowerShell, it's going to give me the PowerShell command. If I want to use the old net use, it's going to give me that. I can use that. If I'm going to be using Linux, it's going to give me the code directly from here. So it gives like all these options and it goes into explanation as to what these different options or what they support. So for example, the Linux SMB3 client doesn't support share level encryption yet. So mounting a file share in Linux only works from virtual machines running in the same Azure region as the file share. So it's just giving you more information so that in case you're trying to run if you're trying to run this on a Linux machine, if they're not in the same region, you may get into issues because the SMB client that Linux uses does not support share level encryption yet. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this one. So what we want to do is we want to copy the PowerShell command in this case, right? So I'm going to click on allow access to allow me to copy that. And then what I'll do is I'll type in PowerShell here. And I'll right click PowerShell ISC, sorry, and I'll run it as administrator. So let's run PowerShell ISC as administrator. And I'm going to paste the command that we have here. Let's make that much bigger, by the way. I'm going to paste the command there. And what this says is I'm specifying the account key, and it's already specified that in there. So that's the key. And it's going to store it in a credential object. And then we're going to use the new PS Drive commandlet to mount that particular file share in Azure. So I haven't put this. What I'll just do is I'll just go ahead and run scripts. And that's done. So for you to know that it's done, if I go to bring up File Explorer, and then if I go under this PC, you see I have my network location here, and that's pointing to my Azure storage account .file, and I can see my invoices directory there and the files on there. One of the things I want you to notice though is that NTFS is not yet supported. So I hear some rumors that that's been worked on, but it's not yet supported at the time of this recording, which is April 2018. So I can also verify using PowerShell. You can use get child item. So now I'm just specifying or pointing to something like a local drive, but it's a mounted network drive. So if I go ahead and run that, I can see the content of that invoices directory. So, and that concludes exercise number 2. So I'll go ahead and stop this recording, and then in part 3 of this particular recording, the 7th recording, what we'll do is we'll complete and cover Azure Backup. So we're going to use Azure Backup to protect files and folders from within a machine, and we're going to do all the whole process of creating and configuring Azure Recovery Services Agent, and then the Recovery Services Vault and all of that. So we'll get to that. So thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next recording. Bye for now.